today we're doing a special dedication to both the victims that were in Buffalo, New York, that were killed, and also the children of Uvalde, Texas. At the oh man, every time I think about that, my heart just cries for that. But the children at in Uvalde, Texas, that were murdered a couple of weeks ago, and so we're going to dedicate this show today, and we're basically going to be focusing on mental health, and these are really the major issues. That's what's happening. That's what's causing a lot of these problems that need to be addressed. But I do want to say this too, which I find very interesting. Before we get started, I just want to say hello to Shonda and then Lady Chee. Lady Chee, you want to unmute your mic?
Hey, how y'all doing?
There we go, to our pretty queens. But before we get started, I found very interesting that the country Canada, they have already ruled, they're setting up a law to outlaw assault weapons, period. The whole country. They already started. And the thing is, I was watching CNN the other day about the U.S. and in regards to assault rifles, and they said that it ain't going to happen. They're not going to ban them, and they said that the best that they can do is raise the age limit from 18 to 21. So my question is, why would a 21-year-old need an assault rifle anyways? Just so people know, assault rifles is not even legal in for hunting. You can't even use an assault rifle for hunting.
Right.
So why are we even having assault rifles anyway? They're for military purposes.
I don't know why people need them. They just want them. And they feel like because, the Second Amendment gives them a right to bear arms, they should be able to have any arms that they want to have. I mean, it's not a need, it's a want. And, with the way things are happening, I do understand as a gun owner myself, I'm not knocking guns, but people do feel like they want to be able to protect themselves. But I like you said, I don't see the need to have an assault rifle that just enables people to kill a whole lot more people. I mean, it's called an assault rifle, like you're looking to assault a mass amount of people. Whereas if you just have your gun or your pistol at home as for your personal protection, I don't see any reason for these large magazine weapons unless you're out here like John Wick in the streets. You know what I mean? Like I just don't. I mean, I don't know if people want to live out their, movie fantasy or what have you, but like you said, that's a great question. Why does not even an 18-year-old, why does anyone need it?
Yeah, it's not just the age, because we have ignorant people of all ages.
Don't know.
And so, but I just don't understand, like you said, why do we need assault weapons anyway? We should be working on trying to reunite and trying to get along with each other instead of worrying about killing people. I understand the pistols and the shotguns, but I can understand that having a pistol and having a shotgun and how that, to me, that's all you need. There's no need for assault weapons in the United States.
So here we are. As Ushanda was speaking, I was like, okay, we're gonna probably get into this later. But no, here's the time to dive in right now. I don't know if you remember or not, but when PlayStation came out, it became this at war, right? Because at the time that PlayStation actually came out, I'm not sure if we were over there during 2001, 2002 after 9/11, and it seemed like they started introducing this more and more into the world. I don't know if you remember Mario Brothers. They had the clay shooting,
Mario Brothers, yeah,
but it wasn't I'm at war type of shooting with these assault rifles that we have going on here now. So again, where I'm going with it, I think that America doesn't understand. You're creating these thoughts and then you're wondering where they're coming from, because people are manifesting what they're going to these little worlds to themselves, playing this game, And now it's becoming that. Not everybody can separate the brain that way. Whereas then I can take reality, leave reality, and go over here into fantasy. Some people take fantasy into reality. And that there is another piece that I'm thinking has a lot to do with why we're seeing this rage, continuously spiking because of, what they're, I go into the mall now. They have gun ranges, in the mall. It's not like the loud noise, but like they literally have it set up like as if they're in, the military, and people are learning to target shoot in the mall.
Wow. And here the mall is supposed to be a pleasant place to take your family and shop, just have a good time,
Well, I think it's because people don't see the duality of things. They're looking at, oh, well, this is fun. This is great. You'll get target practice. But then you're not taking, and looking, as we know in playing the game of chess, I'm not playing for my next move. I'm playing for my next 5 to 10 moves. So if you don't allow yourself to think that way with everything, it's really hard to see, because some people, they don't see the bad in it. But again, are you able to nurture and pour into this child to make sure that they understand,
balance.
the exact, yes, thank you, that's the word. Balance. That's the
hear you.
balance.
I struggle with all of this violence. I just struggle with all of. I struggle with so much hate. The hate, just it's pure evil. I struggle with reconciling any of that. You know how just some things you just don't. I can't understand it in my brain. Like my brain is a problem solver. You know what I mean? I like to figure it out, and but when I can't figure it out, I don't like to talk about it, because it's like, what's the point of me? I can't figure it out. So it frustrates the hell out of me that we keep having these events and nothing happens. This is not the first school shooting. I mean, we're shooting people up in schools. We're shooting people up in the grocery store, in churches. Just, what are we doing about it?
Movie theaters.
Thank you.
You remember that? The movie theater situation? And I agree with you, Shonda. I am one of the people who's like, listen, if I'm not going to be the solution, I don't want to be a part of the problem.
Right.
And just talking about it doesn't solve it. But I do believe when we have conversations like this, we're able to get to the actual core of the problem, because a lot of the core of the problem is the upbringing that we have manifested into this world now. And now we're adapting to the culture versus still trying to change that culture. Even if you played a part in raising the culture, you got to take accountability for the part that you've played in it, right? And now that you're taking a part of it, now you're giving back to the culture. Listen, my brother, listen, my sister, that's not how you talk to one another. Maybe we should look at it like this.
Right.
Or, if you play like that, you keep telling this person that they're bossy or that this person is grumpy, but you don't see them laughing and joking and shooting it back to you. Perhaps maybe what you're saying is being bullied to them, right? And they don't know how to speak up for themselves, but then they take that pain and they send it out to somebody else.
Right.
But if we have more emotional intelligence, whereas I can read a conversation, I can read you, and I don't know you, but I can read enough of your energy to let me know what I'm saying you're not feeling, or did I say something to offend you, because I see the switch in you. I want to talk to you. I don't want to assume. I want to get to the bottom of it, kind of thing.
Right.
I think these type of conversations is the start of it.
I hear you, and I agree with a lot of that. There does have to be a level of understanding, and you may not understand why everybody's not going to agree with everything that everybody does, but there has to be a point where we're all not so damn offended by you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's just carrying around so much, oh, I got wronged, or I was offended. And they feel like, oh, since you offended me, since you hurt me, you know what I'm saying? Like, the first thing is, okay, now I need to go shoot you.
Eliminate.
Right. And I just feel like maybe, just maybe, with all of this, isolation, and the isolation was further perpetuated by the pandemic because we've had these phones and we've had these computers and all this social media a long time before the pandemic even hit. We all been out here tweeting and Facebooking and all that, and not really verbally or in place in interacting with one another. So that kind of isolation, it breeds desperation. It breeds a lot of resentment and things for people. And I just think that there is, try to find a mental health counselor right now. Please try, because it's hard. And you can't really get someone easily available to listen and to help you sort out your stuff. We got these 18-year-old boys out here shooting and killing people. Why? Because they don't have the emotional intelligence to understand their feelings or have a space to talk to somebody about how they're feeling.
I just want to say, if I were one of those teachers, I would have been the one that would have said, we need to get this baby some help.
Mm-hmm.
I would not have ignored the signs that went along with the behaviors that he had. And so many, as we look back, I see how we could have helped the situation here or there. In certain communities, a lot of people get away with different things that they do
Right.
because of the color of their skin. Whereas with the color of our skin, our kids don't get away with things like that. Soon as you do one little crime, they send you off to juvie school, they send you off here. And then, not having a parent that knows how to nurture
Right.
that coming back home and trying to move forward,
Right.
because that parent is there alone. They had their own struggles.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now that person is taking crime to another level because of the fact that they still didn't get the love. They still didn't get the attention that they needed. Right? So all of these different things, like you said, having someone that you can get in contact with. Maybe you may not be able to get in contact with a licensed therapist or mental health physician because they are booked up. But there are coaches here. I'm a life coach. I help people. That is what I do. I am here to help and to serve people. I see things differently. But the thing about it is, you have to want to do the work. What I'm offering you isn't a blue pill. It's not something that you're just going to go and take the drug and it's going to go away. You got to do the work because I'm going to make you see yourself. And too many of us are walking around, like you said, well, we're taking offense to things. Well, that's because of the fact that I have so much built up in my heart that when you say something to me, I'm going to share something with y'all. This week, I was doing my early morning walk, and about a week and a half ago, God told me, once I got back outside, stay in the neighborhood. Don't go outside of the neighborhood. So I've been listening to that. Today, I just, not today, on that day, I think it was maybe Wednesday or so, I went up to take a picture by the flowers, right? And I said, okay, well, I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to go out the neighborhood. And I heard the voice, remember? And I was like, well, maybe that was just for that time. I'm just going to go. Long story short, I'm probably about 5 minutes away from my house. And all of a sudden, this lady comes out of nowhere. And she's walking fast. And immediately, because I was listening to the gratitude room, and I got my earphones on, and immediately my brain, shook back to pay attention to what's going on. I said, well, move your cell phone to your left hand. And then I said, well, no, because if she see me do that, then maybe that might disturb her and might think that I was thinking that she was going to do something. So then my brain was like, okay, well, then you just move to the left so that she has to walk on this side of you so that your phone is, not exposed. So as I moved over, she moved over with me. So then I moved over again, and she came up to me, and I really can't hear, but I get and all I can hear at the end, as in I'm getting ready to pull out my earphones. He sent you. That motherfucker, I told him not to be sending no more bitches up here after me. And then my heart is racing. My hands are shaking.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there, and the old me is about to rise up. But I hear the new me saying, you better not answer that door. You don't know what's on the other side of that spirit. I said, ma'am, I said, I'm just walking. Yeah, whatever. If I see you around here again, bitch, I will take that wig and I will shove it up your ass.
Damn.
You don't belong here.
Lady Chee, what do you think that caused that? I mean, what was it that she felt like you offended? How did you offend her?
No, it wasn't about an offense. She thought that
it was just all in her head.
This guy, no, she came to me and asked me, did he send you?
Right. So she got something else going on.
So she got something else going on, y'all.
Wow.
Yep.
But how do I respond? Do I respond with who do you think you're talking to?
Right.
I don't know what you're talking about, because honestly, I don't know what the hell that lady was talking about.
Right.
But see, by nature though, you have to put yourself in the defense by nature, because she's offending you.
But and that's what people think, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying by nature.
Yeah,
by
nature.
Chee, I'm not saying that you're supposed to attack her. What I'm saying is, because of what she did, she invaded your space.
Correct.
Okay? I'm very old school. So when I grew up, you had to walk in. If you were in 2 or 3 feet of our space and you step up into us, it's time. We about to throw down. So what I'm saying, she actually violated your space is what she did. Because remember how you said how you walked away and you shifted over? She came over to you, right back into your space again. Then she got verbal with you. So she gave you enough for you to get onto the defensive side and create offense. But because of who you are and you're strong, you were able to walk yourself away from that. But what I'm saying, everybody can't do that.
Yeah.
And how did she know you didn't have a pistol on you? You see?
Right.
This is what I'm saying.
And Shonda, you know how that goes in Jersey, Shonda. You know that ain't gonna go well up in New York and Jersey.
It ain't gonna go well nowhere.
My kids, my daughter was like, what? And I know you gave it to her. I said, no, ma'am. I said, I need you to understand the old me would have done that because I wasn't wise then. But my wisdom lets me know that my tongue could be just as me raging war with that spirit. I'm not prepared to fight that spirit because I don't know that spirit. And what you call it nature, I call that learned behavior. Because I had that same learned behavior from my mother. But I'm breaking generational curses because I'm telling you, when we find peace within ourselves to give somebody else grace, when we find peace within ourselves to give somebody else compassion, to understand, you know what, I'm wise enough to know something ain't right. I don't know whether you on drugs. I don't know whether you paranoid, if you're schizophrenic. I don't know. So because I don't know, I'm going to give you grace. Because at that very moment, I could have ended up in a daggone hospital. I could have ended up in jail had I responded and I've been the old person that I used to be.
Child, I know it.
And I'd have been trying to fight a battle that I wasn't prepared for.
Look,
but I'm saying that, and I'm tying back to being able to have the emotional intelligence as in such. You can't do that by yourself. You gotta find different people that are going to support you in your weakness, but be able to drive that personality trait out of you so that you can get some help. Maybe you need to now see a psychiatrist, someone that's going to prescribe drugs because maybe it's a chemical imbalance that you have.
Right.
But too many people are walking around with mental health issues because they have trauma that has built up and they don't know how to communicate it.
Yep.
They don't know how to talk.
That's true.
That's the key
all day long. Way true. I see it in my work, and I see it just, being a human walking around on this planet. It's just why people are so angry. I had a customer just like rage at me for no reason. Just because. And now it's a thing. I'm just going to be stubborn now, even though you're really not being a jerk to me. I'm just still going to continue to be a jerk to you. But why? And at some point, I'm like, sir, why are you so angry? Like, you're wasting your time with all of this hatred. Let's just get you off the phone right now. No, And some people are like dug in their offense. They want to be offended. They feel empowered to be offended. They feel like they have a right to be offended. And as long as you feel like you have a right to all this offense, I don't think we can help y'all. But the people who are, want to be like, you know what? I don't want to walk around being this angry and this hurt and this hateful, because guess what? It's further isolating me. Nobody want to be around me because I'm negative ass Nancy, because I'm the one that's always starting like, look, no, we can't go out with her because every time we go out, somebody bump her on, we all got to fight. Don't, you know what I'm saying? You know those people. So it's like, okay, so, and then a lot of times with a lot of people, and I see it, I'm a mind the business that pays me. That's none of my concern. Oh, I don't care. But if that's your people, you better damn well care. They're in your presence, they're in your space. You need to give a damn about who's in your presence and who's in your space and who you share time with and who you invest time in and who, you choose to have around you. Yeah, that's your business. It's all of our business. It's my business if you're not okay. Like, how am I going to sit here and call myself a friend or a family member and know you're struggling and see it? And I'm like, hey, can we talk about what's going on with you? You may not realize how nasty you've been or how intense you have been, but can we talk about it? Because maybe you don't realize that you're stuck in this. And that's the part that we all, I feel like we missed in the society of, it ain't about me, it ain't mine, and you don't pay. I'm saying this shit's so negative. So let's all be a light to one another. If, like you said, you saw that lady struggling, whoa, and we never know what someone's going through behind the scenes. There could be a reason. Maybe that person just lost their family member, just got evicted, just lost a job, and that was the last straw. And here you come with the rah-rah. You know what I'm saying? So at bare minimum, pause. And don't be immediately offended, even though you have a right to be. But here we go. Everybody feels like my rights are more important than yours. But pause. If you have any inkling in your body, something is telling you, wait a minute. But we don't always listen to that thing that's talking to us. We don't always pay attention to the don't say nothing, keep your mouth shut. Shut up, girl. Don't say that shit. You know it. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then but like you said, emotional intelligence, you got to be in check with yourself, in tune with yourself to understand, okay, this ain't my fight. Let me swerve. Let me, hey sis, I don't know what's going on with you today, but I'm praying for you. And so many times I have had to bite my tongue when I wanted to pop off, woo-hoo-hoo-hoo, right?
Not because you can't, because you can, okay? It ain't because you can't. Let's be sure.
Right. It ain't a weakness.
But you just, right.
It's not weakness, it's wisdom. Exactly. It's like, do I really,
You better go ahead, girl. She said it's a weakness.
I'm gonna take us all the way back to the beginning. Every day, when I'm on my way over to the studio, I pass this elementary school, which is right down the street, walking this just a block away, and the backyard or the back of the school is where the kids come out and play, and that gives me, every time I see it, I actually look forward to it. I see all these little children that are multicultural.
I love it.
And they're just playing. They're not fighting. They're all playing on on different things, swing sets, and and I go all the way back to the beginning, and I'm sitting here looking at, this is where it all starts.
Right.
These children don't know anything about racism.
Nope.
They know that they're different colors. They know they have different language. They know their hair is different. They'll go in there and touch each other's hair. It says different. But at the end of the day, they can all sit together and they can eat together. They can all play together. Then sure, they may have a little run in here and there, but that's like a little isolated situation. But at the end of the day, they just are being children, just enjoying themselves. And it's not until they get older, whether it's from their parents or the people who are around them, that they learn all of these negative things. We're not born with this.
No, we're not.
This is not the way. We are all God's children.
That's
right.
All
of us are. Whether you're handicapped, whether you're black, white, yellow, brown, it doesn't matter. We're all part of this one natural kingdom. And so we got to change the thought pattern. It's the processing. It's what's changing everything. These kids now, when they go home and they're in front of a television set, and I want to put emphasis on this, a TV, a television. Tell a story. 80%. I just had this conversation with Chee. I was the other day looking for a nice, decent program, and every single channel, and I'm on Netflix, I'm on every single channel was of violence. I went through about 7-8 channels, and every single show had shooting, killing, violence in it. And I'm sitting here thinking, if these children are watching this on a daily basis, year after year, it's being embedded in you. And that's what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all of us came from up the north. Now, Chee is still up there, but we're all from the Northeast. All three of us. We were all raised in pretty major metropolitan cities that are much faster than the South. We're almost 3 generations between the three of us, but I will have to say this. All three of us have experienced violence. All three of us have experienced trauma. All three of us have experienced issues with our family members. All three of us have experienced enough trouble where you wanted to just cap somebody. All three of us have. But somewhere we had to make that decision, which is called discipline. We had to make that decision and be disciplined enough to say, I need to overcome this. I have to. And as a short example, I was abandoned from my parents at the age of 15. At 13, my parents were divorced. I was still living with my mom. My mother and her new boyfriend, they decided for whatever reason, they weren't going to move me to California with my other siblings. And they left me at a YMCA with a duffel bag at the age of 15 with a $100 bill. My stepdad at the time, when he gave me that $100 bill, I knew something was wrong, because when he gave me that $100 bill, he told me, when this runs out, I better have a job. I'm 15. I shouldn't even be thinking about anything like that. And so what I'm going to use as an example, I was scared to death. I'm 15 years old, leaving my home and my siblings, my brothers, my sister, and now I'm in a YMCA, which is nothing like the Ys today, with a bunch of drug addicts, alcoholics, just a bunch of people, and they had several floors, like 4 or 5 floors. Each floor had a bathroom. I laid in my room and was so scared to even come out just to use the bathroom. Because I'm 15 years old, I'm a kid, but I was tall for my age. And I don't even know why they even allowed me to be in there in the first place. But at the end of the day, I went into survival mode. And so the reason why I'm saying this is because I had enough reason to be hateful. I had enough reason to take it out on people. Now, I will tell you this. I had trust issues for a very, very long time. That's why I'd never been married. Because I had trust issues.
Yeah.
And you know what that comes from? Abandonment.
Yeah.
So I never got married to the point because I was afraid that somebody would abandon me or leave me. Those are abandonment issues. But you know what though, Shonda and Chee? As I've gotten older, I was blessed. In 2 years, I was blessed to sign on with CBS because my guitar and my bass was my best friend at the time, because that's all I had. And I played so much that I used to fall asleep with it on my chest. But I became good enough to get signed with CBS Records. So that was my blessing to be able to get out from that situation, So, but still, at the end of the day, just because I got signed, it doesn't resolve my issues, my emotional issues. I had to figure out what I need to do to learn how to not hate, because I hated my mother and for what they did, that I wanted to kill somebody.
There you go.
I'm just being honest.
No,
it was
I
wrong
feel
what
you
they
on that.
did. It was
I
wrong.
feel you on that. Does that,
You know?
that ex-husband of mine?
You know,
If
Shonda.
the Lord wasn't with me.
Shonda, you know.
And I totally understand, but my rage and my anger was totally directed at him. You know, like it wasn't like I'm gonna just go shoot up everybody. And I don't understand where that part comes from. Like I'm mad, so let me just kill some other people. Because why? You can't get to the one you're really mad at. Yeah. And a lot of people, you know, that the hatred, they either turn it in on themselves and want to not be here anymore, or you know, they commit that. But I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, I realized that, you know, my rage and my anger, if I allow it, it will kill me. But if I don't allow it, it's just temporary, and it's okay to be that angry. It's okay, like, oh, you shouldn't be. Nah, hell, that fool did me wrong. Like, you have a right to be angry sometimes, and don't get it twisted. Like, anger is a real emotion. It's there. You can feel it, deal with
powerful.
It's power, right? It is, because it can be palatable. You can feel it in the atmosphere sometimes. But what you don't want to do is make decisions based off of that. Like, I'm not gonna. Let me just sit here and deal with my feelings. If I need to go stew in this room and sweat it out, do whatever. Like, but what I'm not going to do is go out here and act on this rage, because those, like you said, chess. I'm thinking about the next 5 moves. Like, if I get this, like, am I really going to be satisfied with busting a cap in this fool's behind? No, because then I gotta go to jail, and I'm too cute for that. Like,
hello,
you ain't worth me giving up my life.
Hello.
Like, I ain't trying to fight these heifers, Big Shirley and them. No. Listen.
You got that right. I've been there, Shonda.
I like to get my hair and nails done outside. Like,
hello. Listen, Shonda, as you were telling that story, I went back and I'm thinking in my thoughts, you know, with my daughter's father, you know, with my son's father, I was young and I was crazy. I've put my hands through windows before.
See?
You know, all of that, you know, and getting my glass windows busted out, and I've been through that kind of drama. Then I went through a different level of drama, and I remember in this one particular argument, I was so mad at him. Oh, I was so mad. He came home, we had the discussion. I'm like, come in the house so we can go to church in the morning. And he come in the house at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I was on stew fire, okay? I met him at the door, and next thing I know, we're tussling. And, you know, he's trying to laugh his way out of it. But the more he's laughing, the more angrier I
you
become.
think it's a joke? Yeah.
So then he starts squeezing me tighter and tighter, you know, because a man has, you know, a different kind of control. But I'm telling that story because ego to ego was in that moment. And each ego was at power. Each ego was like, I'm gonna win. And I got in one position, and I was at that position, and I could have broke his toe. I was almost there. And I know I felt that I had the strength enough to snap that thing back. But something right there in the midst of that said, if you do that, he's going to go to the next level. And you already know you're not going to be able to return. Something right here is about to happen. I'm grateful for that mindset that had, you know, I was going. And after that period of time, I heard God say, you got to get it together. You can't even allow yourself to get past one, because after you in one, you start going into another person. I can't save you because you can't hear my voice.
That part.
Now you
Right.
in number two. Now number two is feeding the other part of that ego. Oh, he think he getting the best of you. Oh, he got you now. He just did this to you. Oh, now it's just talking to you. And
Yep.
everything that it's saying is right.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
you keep going with it. But I'm so grateful that God reached out his hand one last time.
Yep.
Because I'm telling you, those emotions that go through that 1, 2, 3 trigger, it's a blackout from there.
Sure enough. I'm
That's
there.
real. That's
Yep.
real mental health there.
That
That's
is.
not a joke.
It's not. That's why I don't like
That's how you can
getting-
have people sit there and snap
Yep.
and go into these things. But if you don't have the peace that can come in and save you, you'll fall victim to it. People need love.
They sure do.
People need restoration
They
from
need
their
brokenness.
past, from their brokenness. It shows up when we can put a smile on people's faces. I know we've been talking about the dark, but I want to shift it to the good. I like when I can go into Target and I can see these old people looking for something, and I'm like, well, what you looking for? I know they can't see.
Right.
I know they need help. They old, they tired. I can feel them.
Mm-hmm.
And they were about to go home. They said, well, we'll find the deodorant. Well, I got to go all the way back home. And then I got to get the name of it because she don't remember, and he don't remember because that ain't his business to remember. It's her deodorant, right? And she's in a wheelchair. They had to go through all that process to get there. I said, no, come on. I said, what kind is it? Let's find it.
See?
And I went to, she said, roll on. I said, oh, roll on. Here it is right here. I said, you like this one? And she said, that looks familiar. I said, here you go. Have a good day. Have a blessed day.
That's
and
it.
I know I made a difference in their life. I've
Just
been
that
where
little
some
bit of
people
kindness.
can't speak English, but
Yep.
I don't speak their language, but I'm able to follow their context clues.
Uh-huh.
Do you know how much that makes somebody feel? They
Yep.
just coming into America. Obviously, they can't speak. They don't know what's going on. If you just do kind things like that, I promise you, piece by piece, that is the change. That's
That
the
is
change
it.
we want to see.
That's it. That's the
So
change.
why aren't we doing it? Why aren't we
Yep.
showing up in that way? I feel good when I do stuff
I
like
do
that.
too.
I
It
do.
is a good
I
feeling.
really
That
do.
person's day.
It
Yep.
is a good feeling.
It
Yeah.
really is. It really is when you can make somebody else's day. That just makes my heart. I'm like, okay, that just made my heart feel good. I ain't
Yeah.
doing it for me, but I'm gonna take that little piece of blessing today and carry it with me because I just did a good thing.
And you know what,
Absolutely.
ladies? It's the littlest things. It's the simplest
all.
things that really
Yes.
matter to people. And it's funny that you said that, Lady Chee, because every time I'm in the store, I shop at Walmart. That's my main store, and I always see people, and especially I see a woman trying to get something off a top shelf that she can barely reach, and something that's heavy, and I automatically, I've been doing it all my life. I'll go up and reach it and give it to them,
Yeah.
Yep.
and it's just them looking at you and say thank you, and that's all it is. And it's just those simplest things.
Yeah.
And both of you are so correct because we have gotten so far away from that. And what's happening is we got to change the media. What needs to be changed is because our society, whether it's Chee's daughter, whether it's my daughter now is 20, she'll be 21 in 2 weeks. But at the end of the day, you know what controls them? It's this. This is what controls our children.
Yep.
And the problem is, it's not the device itself, just like the pistol, just like
Right.
the rifle. It ain't the device. It's not what makes it dangerous. What makes it dangerous is the people who are using it and where their head is.
Yes.
And so we got to change. America's got to figure out a way to change the lining of America, because the lining is right now, it is, trust me, it is stained. It is
We
stained.
can't
very
wait on
bad.
America. We
And
can't
it
wait on
starts-
America. Yeah.
No, we can't. But I'm just saying, as a whole. And the problem is, individually, we need to start right back to the beginning with our children, because it's all has to do with that mental health.
Yep.
Because when we went to school, we had a guidance counselor.
Yep.
Guidance counselors should be around for all the way up until they're like 21 years old. there should be a guidance counselor for every single person that's in the school. Because these children, some of them, they have mental issues and they've got problems. And all it takes sometimes is just for them to be able to talk to somebody, just to listen to whatever it's going on with them. Yeah. Some of them need medication, some of them need counseling, but at the end of the day, we have failed in that situation. And we didn't fail back in our days. We failing now because we've got more crime today. And it's getting to the point, like you're saying, there's no safety anywhere. We used to be safe going to church. We used to be safe going to school. Now where are we safe at? You can't even go to the grocery store. I mean, seriously? You can't go to church and worry about somebody shooting you at church? What does that tell you? It's totally against everything in the Bible.
If I talked about the statistics that are going on in Baltimore right now, you would jump through the roof. I don't even pay attention to the statistics because it's just unreal at this point in time. It really is. But AJ, I love what you said because, you know, having a guidance counselor with every student, that would be beautiful. That would be amazing because maybe someone can detect, you know, some things that might be going on early in life to correct them early before adulthood gets in. Because, you know, it's not to say that an old dog can't be changed. It's just harder to change an old dog and teach them new tricks. That's all. But we got to say we can't. We got to stop saying that because we can. It's just going to take a little bit more love. It's just going to take a little bit more time. But you got to be able to identify it, right? But a lot of times, too many people are walking around with issues. And I love what Ushanda said earlier, because she said she'll pull a cousin to a side or a friend to the side and say, hey, sis, do you not see you? Do you not see how you are acting, how you're showing up? Is there something going on? You know, something that gentle, not in front of everybody. Because when you do it that way, as we watch on these different TV shows, because AJ brought that back in, and he was like, well, you know, the TV, our children are watching the television. They see them acting like that. And guess what? The ones that are positive, they put them off. Anybody that brings positivity, they put them off. If you ain't got the drama and you ain't got the talk of the town, they put them off.
Exactly. They feel like it's no fun, it's not entertaining.
It's something valid about what he's saying.
That part. So here's the thing, though. So what is it going to take for us to stop supporting that? Do you know what I'm saying? Because the only reason why they keep putting the reality shows on, and a lot of it is, you know, the cartoons and stuff for the kids, but these reality shows that we got the moms and everybody else watching are really like empowering people to feel like, oh, I get pissed off. You know, they got money. They just jump up and start trying to fight people and hit people and they ain't go to jail. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like if we as a people stop supporting this bullshit that they put on TV, then perhaps they will stop putting it on TV. But as long as they have an audience for it and people keep tuning in and people keep liking it and tweeting about it, they're gonna keep putting it in front of us.
Listen, you just gave the magic bullet. It's not us not supporting them. It's them getting their lives together. Why don't you make the change? You don't see yourself? Do you go back and actually watch these clips? Have you not seen how you showed up? Do you not want to be better for you, for your family? Now, if they made the change, that's when the change is going to shift. Because now you're making the industry now change with what is trending. You understand? What's trending is the negativity. But if those that are participating in the negativity could see that they need to make the change, they could be the change that we need to begin to see.
Yep. And they get paid. I know a lot of it, you know, people are like, oh, they really like that. A lot of that is scripted, but it's scripted, yes, but you allow them to script your life that way. You allow them, you put yourself in that position to be the crazy chick.
So we have two stories on that. the producers say no, it's not scripted. The people that are playing in the reality show say yes, it is scripted. What I see, because I'm a person that can see two sides of the story, is the producer goes over and tells the story of what they may have already captured, right? And that's not being scripted. Now I've just fueled you with some fire so that now you can react to what I'm saying. That's the part I'm thinking. And then they'll say, well, it's scripted. No, it wasn't scripted. You just played the part because you allowed them to transfer that information. You don't know exactly what they meant by what they said. They just took it from their perspective and gave you their perspective. Does that make sense?
I hear you.
Oh, no.
Yep. No, it does. It does. Yeah. And some of it, I feel like it's a combination of both. They just kind of pile on to the drama. And it's like, I don't hang around chicks like this. Like, I'm like, where they get these people from? Their friendships operate like that, because that sure as hell ain't the circle that I'm involved. Like, we don't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I like to watch it because I like to judge them from a place of wanting them to be able to see their own character flaws.
Yeah.
And it's not judgment, whereas I'm saying that you're bad for this, but I'm pointing out some things, just like how you saying point out with your friend, your cousin. I would love to help them with that. Listen, let me help y'all, because this is what we need to get together, sis.
Yep.
You know, but who's doing that? Is somebody doing that? Where is that person? That person needs to be me, because maybe y'all listen, because and then maybe it is the airways that want to tell the story the way they want to tell it, that narrative. But if you show up every time being the positive person, they can't prove that. They can't show that narrative.
Right.
Look at Crouton. Is he in the background?
No, that's my shoulder. My shoulder.
Oh, okay.
No, I put Crouton on lock. He in the room with his daddy.
I thought that he was making a guest appearance.
I love his expressions, though. I love his face.
Because he would have been popping up behind this couch like.
Well, you know what? We're going to take a quick commercial break real quick. And it's very interesting. I think that we are addressing some things, but there's got to be some changes. And these changes need to be put in place very quickly. Because it's getting to the point where I'm already starting to see a civil war that's going to be happening in the U.S. And I see that coming very soon. I really do. And but anyway, you're listening to the Max Mobile Celebrity Podcast, and we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back in a moment.
A new day has come. Sable Ascent is taking your business around the world at no cost. We are connecting Black businesses in one global community, transacting with one currency, Stablecoin, creating one economy. Remember, you are not alone. A digital world is here. Register your business today at sableascent.com.
Creating a mobile app for my business has been one of the best decisions I've ever made as a business owner. It helps me stay connected with my customers. It allows me to send my customer specials at any point in the day using push notifications. I even have a loyalty system integrated to encourage more repeat business, which really works. And best of all, my customers love our mobile app. They're always using it, asking about it, interacting with it, and more. Developing a mobile app has been one of the most cost-effective ways for our business to grow, connect with new customers, and encourage existing customers to come in more. It's really paid off. To top it off, developing the app was extremely inexpensive and has shown a very high return on investment when considering the amount of new business we've generated from our business app. And if you're a business owner thinking about developing a mobile app, I highly recommend it. It will help you grow your business, connect with your customers, and stand out from your competitors.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we're actually talking about the mental health issues, and we still haven't really talked about the children that were murdered in Uvalde, Texas. I just cannot imagine being a parent of a child that got lost in the shooting. These kids were so cute. I don't know, you take the time to taking the picture. They were so cute. And, a couple of kids even just recently just got a couple of awards. And one of the things, and like I said, we're going to keep this real. We're going to keep this very real. What I've noticed, if you look at this pattern in our country, we have every nationality in this country, correct? Well, when's the last time have you ever seen an Asian go out and shoot a whole bunch of people up? When's the last time you seen that?
A couple weeks ago at that church.
And at
But I'm saying I'm talking about as far
Virginia
as history.
Tech.
But
Virginia
what I'm
Tech.
saying, you don't see that on a regular basis, though. It's getting really weird. Even this situation, this recent with the Latino kid that killed these kids and shot his grandmother in the face. That's very rare. And so what's happening is that we need to, if you look at our Black community, we pretty much shoot each other more than we turn around and shoot massive people. We shoot each other. And that's got to stop. We have to change that, because one of the things I find, people who are very successful in life, and I'm going to use this as an example, LeBron James. LeBron James came out of high school, went right into the pros, became a superstar, and do you know, as of today, he is the first NBA player that's a billionaire. He is a billionaire from doing something that he loves to do. But the bottom line is, he went through a lot of pressure, had a lot of people coming after him, things like that. But at the end of the day, it's about being focused. It's about doing the right thing. And you know what the right thing is? It's just what you just both have said. It's helping one another. It doesn't matter what color we are. When I'm in the store or something like that, and I see somebody, or I see a lady that got a flat tire, I don't care that she's white. It don't make no difference to me. She needs some help, So if I can turn around and help her, I'm going to help you. I don't care. I've got friends of all kind of different nationalities. I was raised up that way. And I thank God that my parents didn't raise me. Now, don't get me wrong. My father was part of the Black Panther Party, but don't get me wrong. We had a lot of Black pride in our family, but at the end of the day, my mother all told us that we are all connected. And she made sure that when schools that I went to a Jesuit school, high school with priests. And so I was around a lot of white people at a very young age. And so I seen a lot of things happening all the time. Now, I didn't always agree with a lot of things. And I still had to go through a lot of racial crap. But at the end of the day, as long as you didn't step 3 feet up in my face, we were cool. And as I got older, you know what I learned? I've learned to reverse. When somebody says something negative to you, reverse something back to them positive. It's almost like a mental ping pong game. Because as long as you don't feed into it, just like what Lady Chee did with that lady, if you don't feed into it, it really kind of weakens their situation. Because you're not going along, you're not rolling along with it. And so once again, you have to be strong enough and disciplined to be able to identify when somebody's coming to you the wrong way, you continue going the right way. As long as you continue going the right way, a lot of times it diminishes. And one thing I always believed in since from a little boy, since I was 7 years old, is karma. Yeah. I've always believed in karma. What you put out there, it will come back. Yeah. It might not necessarily come back from that particular person or for that particular situation, but it will come back to you. Look at us. Go ahead, Chee.
I just want to jump in here because I hear something say about the bully. I want to make sure people understand, like what AJ was saying. Hey, listen, 3 feet within me, stay away. But I want to talk to those that are getting bullied because, AJ's right. Listen, people don't have the right to do that. That's a totally different situation. I feel that those that get bullied in situations is because of the fact that they stand and have the mindset that they just walked away from that person. See, I walked away because I didn't understand or know that spirit. A bully that keeps on bullying someone, that spirit now because you know that this person has been doing this to you constantly. Those people need help. that is not something that you continuously walk away from. You cannot allow people to bully you, because that right there is something that will cause a lot of trauma in people's lives. And I think too many people allow their kids to be bullies in these schools, because I listen, when they tried it with my daughter, oh, I said, listen, you gonna strengthen up. Hey, listen, let me pull out the old me real quick, because I still need you to understand there's going to be a balance, but I gotta feed that fire to you, because I need you to understand you're not going to be bullied. You got to understand these people are looking at you because you got freckles. You're going to have to get used to that. And maybe they feel like they can pick on you, but okay, embrace it. Yeah, that's right. So what? I got freckles. Look at you. Something. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. Fight back. Let it go. You can fight back with words. But if you sit there and you constantly take that in, I see what it's doing to you, baby girl. I don't want that role for you. Now, I'm like trying to pull her back. Listen, don't be bullying people. Because now, I got to teach her to balance again, because listen, this world is cruel. There's a lot of people that aren't paying attention to their kids as they're growing up.
Yep.
And as AJ said, I have to say that again, these cell phones and these TVs, they get into their minds and they think that they're supposed to replicate this. And that's not what life is about, especially if we're not there to guide them and say, hey, listen, come back. I don't want to see this happen again. I don't. In America, you do need to get up and you need to get involved. Until we can make the change by doing the pleasant things, we're planting the seeds. But at the same time, you're going to have to weed up the bad. You're going to have to fix the bad. Right now, nobody's doing anything. And to me, that is suicide. That's suicidal in America. When you're constantly standing by and allowing someone to continuously do things and just put things out there for people to be able to get accessible things that you know that they shouldn't be able to. You're an accessory to the crime. America needs to wake up.
Sure enough.
Stop thinking it's about money.
Sure enough.
Stop thinking it's about power. Where do you find the love? Wake up. Do the right thing.
Do y'all know this is the 30th shooting at a K-12 school in 2022?
The 30th?
This is the 30th shooting at a K-12 school in 2022, according to CNN.
And this is only half the year. This is only half the year. I want to take a moment to share this video, if I may. Can everybody see it?
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, it's not streaming very well, but you can see the picture.
We really need to continue praying, because they have to put a stop to it. They have to put a stop to it. Those weapons of mass destruction.
As a father, I have kids myself, and just showing my support, dad, for the whole family here. Because the whole nation's coming together now.
I'm hurting for my neighbor's granddaughters, but I pray.
I can't.
Yeah, I had to show that.
I can't.
I know. I didn't mean to make you upset, ladies. I just wanted to show.
I can't
that we're there to
even.
support them.
This is just,
We're here to
You
we're
know,
here to support
if
them.
I don't know if you heard the beautiful melody of that young lady's voice, and
ooh,
as
that's my
Ushanda
We
stomach.
was
did.
chiming in, it was so beautiful. And as I
It
was
was.
listening, all I could hear is if we did more of this for other
Mhm.
occasions. That melody of her voice was so beautiful. It was so soothing.
It
We need more
was.
love on the airways. And not because of the fact that we're celebrating somebody's life that has come to an end.
Far too soon.
Cherishing life every day. If we did that more often, do you understand?
Yep.
If we just would, ah, if we cherish life, whenever I talk to AJ and he says, I said, how you feel? How you doing? Any day I have life in my breath in my body, I'm doing good. That's what he
And
says
you know, I
every
don't say
day.
that, Chee. I don't say that just to be making a comment. I want to know how
I
you're feeling.
know.
I want to know that you're
Yes.
Yeah.
okay. I want to know.
Yes.
I ask Shonda all the time, Shonda, how are you doing? How you feeling? You know, get some rest because I know what it's like to be
Yeah.
in pain. I know what it's like to
Yeah.
suffer. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we're
So
here to
I,
support.
but that's what I sent the message to Ushanda when I heard she wasn't feeling well. Sis, I'm praying for you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
But that's
she
what
does all the time.
even if you don't talk every day, something is going on with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know how that could change their day. Somebody thought about me
That's
today.
right. That's
I
right.
pick up the phone, God has shown me somebody, my son's friends, even if
Yep.
they don't talk anymore. If that person drops in my spirit,
That part.
listen, boy, I'm not going to be mad at them because you mad at them because I don't want
Right.
you to understand that that's the way you're supposed to be. I didn't
Right.
raise you that way. But again, that's being able to help to change character flaws
That's
that
right.
this generation keeps on picking up and thinking that it's okay to do. But I'll contact him and I'll be like, hey, listen, I thought about you. You all right? You good? And
Mm-hmm.
I'll send another message until he responds. He's like, yeah, 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 I'm okay.
Yep.
Because when you connect, you don't know why God put those people in your life.
That's right.
You don't know why that person dropped into your spirit.
That's
So it's
right.
okay for you to just reach out and just say, hey, listen, just checking on you, just making sure you are all right. It's short, sweet, and that's it. Just dropping a note because you came to mind. Sometimes that can save a life.
That's just that simple. Just that simple.
That could save a
I've been the
life.
recipient of those, hey, the Holy Spirit dropped you in my, in my heart, in my spirit right now. I don't know what's going. I mean, literally, I have been the recipient, and that mess has saved my life. Just in that moment of despair, like, wait a minute, hold up. I don't have to be in despair by myself. Even if I make it a point of, like, I'm one of those introverted people. Like, I don't do small talk well. Like, conversation means something to me. If I'm going to sit down and have a conversation, there has to be some kind of exchange to it. Like, we're going to sit here, iron some stuff out, or we're going to walk away from this conversation feeling good about interacting with one another. I don't ever want it to feel like, oh, well, that was a waste of my time. You know what I'm saying? Or, like, it's deliberate for me when I sit down and talk to my friends. Like, and when I talk to my parents, and I'm like, I come to talk to you. Don't like, if you want to talk to me, call me back later. Turn the TV off so we can talk. Like, I get that way when I'm talking to people. Like, hey, if you're distracted or something, I'll talk to you later. But I just wanted to let you know that I'm checking in on you. Um, but yeah, I'm that type. Like, I really want to know. And AJ's that way too, because we'll be like, okay, let's make this conversation quick. 45 minutes later, we still talking. You know, and it's
I know.
always a good conversation. We always have a good exchange. Just like you and Chi Chi, like both of y'all, we always have
We have,
meaningful
we have great
words.
synergy. We have synergy here.
Mhm.
It's great synergy. We all did. We
There's
have different
matter.
personalities, but we all have great synergy here. That's why I love doing the show with you guys.
And but and at the end of the day, it's the synergy, but it's also our adaptability.
Yeah.
It shows how we have learned how to take that adaptability and just make something. And that's what we do in our everyday lives. This is a testament as to how we can be diverse. Okay. I can step over here and I can do this. I can step over here, I can do that. But when you're able to cultivate that within your personality, I'm telling you, it makes you a well-rounded person. And
Yeah.
that's why I think, our energy, becomes aligned because of the fact that we're operating on that same vibe there. That's the vibe where we're coming from. We're coming from a place of servitude. Because of that, we're
So
willing
true.
to adapt to so many different things. So,
That is so true.
yeah.
Well, and then and Chee, every time I talk to you, who do I always ask about? I always ask about Journey. You know,
Journey.
because
She's
that's
graduating this year.
yeah,
Yay.
I'm so proud of her.
From
Yay,
elementary
Journey.
school. So she's got some things coming up. She's going to be participating in this contest, modeling and acting contest that's coming up. So I'm grateful for that. It's just going to be, it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Shonda, I'm going to ask you now, what do you think is the solution? What do you think is the next step for America right now in regards to, besides this, the gun change? What do you think that needs to be changed?
hmm.
Just your opinion.
Um, that's a hard one because there's
Okay.
so much. Um, and I think we've already touched on the fact that there just overall just needs to be a bit more kindness and grace overall. I mean, period. So the hatred is out here and it's real. It's palatable. I keep saying that because sometimes you can just walk out into a store and you're like, ooh, it's chaos in here. And I'm very sensitive. My spirit is like, mm-mm, it smells like a headache and drama up in here. I'm out. So
I
like
like that.
I will walk
Smells
away.
like
Like, nah, I ain't set up for this today. Let
I
me
like that.
walk away. And I feel like if you walk, you bring your kindness out. You walk in that gratitude. You walk every day deliberately knowing that, you know what, I'm just going to practice gratitude. I'm just going to be kindness. I'm just going to be kindness today. Um, and I think sometimes we just need to be deliberate about that because anything could throw us off our square. Like you could step in mud when you walk out your door and be
That's
pissed because,
life.
man, these is new shoes. You know what I mean? So you could
Mhm.
really operate in that kind of. I
Life
woke up
happens.
alongside of bed. I've been really struggling with some health issues, and it had me in a really dark place. But I decided because I was like, I don't feel good. I don't want to be bothered. Period. But I have to keep pushing. I have to keep pushing myself to not go in. But self talk, positive self talk does help, even if you can't get to somebody. But we have to. I just feel like we all are responsible for what we bring into this world and the atmosphere that we create around us. And I feel like if we individually take a step back and look at how we're coming to things, how I'm presenting myself. And people are always, well, I don't care what anybody else thinks. It ain't about what they think, but it's about your presence in
That's
this
right.
world. What does your presence in this world mean? Are you here to just create chaos and havoc and run amok and act like nothing and nobody else's needs or lives matter? Because what about my needs and desires and wants? Well, you ain't walking this planet by yourself. None of us are.
That's right.
So we really need to be mindful of what we bring and not return hate for hate. I think it's really key that even though people are being hateful, we don't have to return that same hate. That just keeps perpetuating it.
That's so true. Lady Chee, what I would like to ask you in regards to what are the things that you're embedding into Journey? She's at a very vulnerable age right now, and so how do you prepare her for this world? Because you've been doing it now for what, 9 years?
No, 11 years.
Oh,
Okay, 11 years. Okay, 11
mhm.
years.
Going on 12. This
Okay,
she'll
so
be
she's a
12
part of,
this
and
year.
she's a part of you. So
Yeah.
how did you get her to? Because obviously you done a great job. You done a great job with Journey. And
Thank
so,
you.
what did it take for you to be able to instill those positive attributes in her, which is what she's showing now?
Let me just say, this is one of those stories that I have to go backwards in order to go forward. The relationship that I'm cultivating with her currently right now is a brand new relationship.
Okay.
Because me working in corporate America, both of my kids, soon as I had the kids, the father stayed at home with them. I went back to work.
Oh, the
I
father
was,
stayed at home. Wow,
yeah, yeah,
that's a
yeah.
switch.
So I didn't have that connection that I needed. I breastfed, and thank God I did that. But so far as in having the real mommy connection, that
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
softness, that gentleness, no, I was the corrector. We
Oh,
talk
okay.
about that all the time, AJ, the shift of roles. When you have an enforcer that is a mother, and then you have the father that's in the household, that there could also cause problems because now they look to dad as being the soft one versus mommy being the
Mm-hmm.
soft one. So now I am the aggressor. So now everything that I say, it's always going to be, well, let me go run tell dad because, mommy crazy kind of thing.
Mm, okay.
But when I was able to see that that's what the enemy was trying to portray of me, I said, I
Mm-hmm.
got to be the change. Wait a minute. It's me. It is me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's
That's it.
me. When I stop playing victim and saying, oh, this person doing this and that person doing that and this and this and this and that, is when I was able to begin to work on self and see myself and how I showed up. But see, as I can see that out in the world, then I begin to see the same things within my own household.
Mm,
And being pulled away out of corporate America and being able to be home open up a whole nother vision, a whole nother perspective of a person that I was completely missing out on.
Mm.
Because God didn't give those kids to me for me not to be whole as showing up as their mother. But because my peace was continuously at war, it was continuously at rage, that's what I was raising. I was raising rage. I was raising keeping it going, keeping it moving, fast paced. We're on a treadmill, surviving and not living. Because I wasn't able to come in and restore the love that I'm supposed to store. A
Mm.
tree can't survive in the desert if it don't have the water that it needs. And too many of our kids, they are not being flourished in the water that they need. They might be getting the nutrients, but you're not giving them everything that they need
Yep.
in order to bear good fruit. So with me, how I cultivated that, I'm sorry, you asked me a question. I had to go back, but I had to come
no,
now. Let
I
me go
understand.
forward. So with her now, what I did was I was able to tap into something that she liked, that she saw. With the positive thing that she did pick up from me was that I love to dance. Okay.
Yeah.
That was the positive thing that she did pick up from me. She did pick up my joy. She picked up some other things, and those things are the things that I have to correct now that I'm in a better place to be able to deal with those teenage womanhood things that happen. I
Right.
understand. But see, not understanding, I can now see why my mother popped me. I understand
Mhm.
because I can see me. Do you understand?
Yeah,
And
you
I
see
now,
her and
now
you.
and now guess what? I can give her grace. Something that my mother didn't give me. She didn't. Every chance that I was wrong, I was corrected. And sometimes even when I wasn't wrong, I still got corrected. That's the part that I'm making difference. I'm breaking that generational curse that you don't respond in anger by putting your hands on someone and
There you
then
go.
expecting to show up into the world and not think that that's what they're supposed to do. Don't put
There
your
you
hands
go.
on me. And that's what I tell her. Stop doing that. Don't get in my space like that. Because if you get in my space like that, you go out in the real world and you get in somebody's space like that, they're going to knock you out.
That part all day.
I'm
Mom's
teaching
gonna
him.
knock you out.
I can be soft, but at the same time, I can be real when I need to be,
That
because that's
part.
what God does in our life.
Mm-hmm.
When you're not listening, you can hear the roar, because something in your life will definitely be disrupted
That
in a
part.
great way. When he's trying to get your attention and you are his called, he will do something to bring you back. And you be like, oh, wait a minute. Let me
Oops.
make some changes here. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up.
Whoops. My bad. Sorry, Jesus.
And
I was
Shonda,
in my
one
square.
last question to you is: what was it like for you when you became a stepmom to those children?
Ooh.
What was that like?
It was a lot. But I think I came at it from the aspect of these kids have been entrusted to me and they're not my children. And I want to make sure that I honor that their parents trusted me with them. And I think that's where my heart always was with the kids. It's like I'm not trying to take mom's place. And I really hoped they understood that, but I just want to make sure they feel loved. And I wanted to make sure that they didn't feel like they were a burden, or that, I treated them I didn't have kids of my own, so it wasn't like I could treat them differently. But I would see things that perhaps their parents wouldn't see, because sometimes when you are the parent and now you've split up and now they don't have both of their parents, there's some resentment there. And sometimes they operate out of a sense of guilt with their kids because they feel like, oh, I took them away from their mom or whatever. And I'm just going to be overly accommodating to all their mess. But I'm like, you know what? I understand it, but that's not the way that you probably should be handling this right now. And let me come to you and tell you what I'm observing, and hoping that, you trust me enough to know that I love your kids enough that I'm not trying to beat them up, but there has to be structure and there have to be rules. Like, kids need boundaries. You can't just let them be free and do everything. And that's what I'm seeing a lot. Like, oh, well, I don't believe in this and I don't believe in that. I don't believe in treating my kids as I believe they should have a voice and everything. I'm like, yeah, they have a right to, have their minds and their minds develop, but you have to be the one guiding those thoughts. You can't just let them go left and right without having some boundaries. I put it in like when you take the kids bowling and they put the bumpers in there so the ball doesn't go in the gutter. You don't want your kid's mind in the gutter. You don't want your kid in the gutter. So you got to be those bumpers on either side to keep them going in the direction that they need to go to be a successful human. They're not always going to be a baby. They're not always going to be tiny. You are raising a person. You're not just, oh, these kids, because like you said, Chee, think 5 steps ahead. They're not going to stay 10. They're not going to stay 12. You got to make sure that you instill in them the things that they need so they can make proper decisions when they're 20, when they're 30, when that recall memory kicks back and it's like, oh, I remember my mama told me, or my stepmom told me, or my dad told me. You got to give them good stuff. You got to pour good, you don't put diesel in your truck and it only takes gas. And that's what I feel like a lot of people are doing with their kids. They feeding them the wrong shit and wonder why they out here cutting up. Like, were you involved? What were you giving them?
Yeah.
Listen, I gotta tell you this part. With my son when he was in elementary school, there was Fruity Pebbles and another cereal that when I paid attention, when I was sending him to school on that sugar, he would get a note home that day. And I began to start seeing a pattern. I said, listen, I got to take this away from you. You can't eat this. I said, you act crazy when you get that sugar in you. Right. It is something in the food. I promise you, it really is.
Damn, you took away the Captain Crunch and the honeycomb?
The sugar mixed with all those artificial colorings.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Had these kids bouncing off the walls, boing, boing.
It's a whole sugar high. Yeah,
that's another show.
And it keeps on going. Yeah, so
that's another show
and
by
then,
itself.
And then you trying to get the kids to stay still in class, and they can't do that. When I changed that, I saw a difference, AJ. So yeah.
And they're giving these kids labels like they're ADHD and all this other good stuff, when a lot of times it is just that it's their diet.
Hello.
Stop
Right.
feeding
Right.
them all that sugar and sending them to school where they're supposed to be sitting down when they need to work that stuff off. Like, give them something else in the morning. And then you would, like you said, if that had went on, them teachers, that school would have been real quick to be like, oh, we think he has ADHD because he can't just sit still and be calm.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I don't think a lot of people pay enough attention, close enough attention to their kids, because they're so wrapped up in their in like
Their stuff.
in their stuff all day long. The kids,
And that's what I'm saying. I'm a
bye.
victim.
And you see that on the street all the time when
Hello.
you see them walking and their kid is running somewhere and they're sitting there.
No, I don't do that.
I see.
I didn't like that. Don't embarrass me.
You better get little baby over here. He doing stuff, ma. Like, excuse me, is this your kid? Like, do you not see him?
This your child right here.
Do you not see him ripping his mannequin arm off this thing over here, lady? I mean, legit. So it's a lot of that, and I don't know. And they said this boy lived, the Uvalde shooter, like he lived with were his parents around? Or was he just
so that's the part that I keep hearing. Like, I hear that the father says something, the mother says something. I'm like, wait a minute, he got a mother and a father, so why was he even with the grandmother?
Exactly.
Like, this story is not unfolding. And again, for me, because I could be a conspiracy theorist, I don't even want any more details. All I know is that it's just too much. I'm not sure what's going on, but I respect the families and those that have been injured. And in such a way, and that, going back to that video, when we watched that and I heard that young lady's voice, that touched my heart, because it's not just the parents, the kids that had to see that.
Yes.
All of that. That's the reason why I closed my eyes and I just wanted little bits and pieces of it, because I don't want those memories playing in my mind.
I can't even imagine the people that had to go into the building and remove those children's bodies. I can't.
Me either. I couldn't do that job.
I don't even know how. Like, they need help. They need support.
Yeah.
Everybody that had that death. No, I stayed away from watching that. I'm like, oh, my heart. I don't know if I can take this. Like,
see, it just shows the connection. We're humans. We have feelings. Your parents, and just even Sean, you're still a parent. It doesn't have to be by birth. You're still a parent. Anytime when you're around children and you raising children, you are a parent. And so we can feel their pain. And just the idea, it didn't matter that they're a Latino. You see what I'm saying? It didn't matter what their race was. They're children.
Babies.
Exactly. At the end of the day, and they were beautiful. They were beautiful children. And
I think I would have tried to run in the building too, like that man did. My wife and my kids in there.
I would have. If my kids wasn't there, if I was in the area.
The police would have had to fight me. They would have had to shoot me. I'm sorry. They're not fight me. They would have had to shoot me, because I'm getting into that building with or without you, one way or the other. We're going into that building. See, again, because I told you there's a switch. There's that switch right there.
I got to tell you about this one little girl. This one girl was 7 years old, and she was right next door to the kids, to the shooting. She was right next door. When she knew what was happening, you know what this girl did? She took red paint and painted herself and laid on the ground as if she was dead. I said, wow, for her to react like that quickly. And I'm just saying, for her to even have to do that, she saved her life. But for her to even have to react like that, it just goes to show there's something wrong. I'm just glad that she was quick enough and to be able to be creative enough to be able to do something to save her life. But she'll never forget that for the rest of it. She's scarred for the rest of her life.
Oh, well, we've had a very good conversation today.
Yeah, this was great.
Team Max Mobile Celebrity Podcast, my teammates in action, as I like to call y'all.
Sing us a song before we leave.
Oh, wow.
We don't have time, Shonda.
I know, right? I'm looking like he's telling me to close it out.
Both of you getting great for it. And Lady Chee, thank you for my birthday song. Lady Chee sent me a birthday song that was amazing.
Oh, you're
I want to say
welcome.
thank you for that, Chee.
You're welcome.
And you know, I did not
I'm
know you're a Gemini. But come on, sing happy birthday, Shonda.
No, it's too late. We gotta we're
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Uvalde.
Happy birthday.
Thank you much. Thank
It's
you
still
much.
your birthday, okay? But anyway, go ahead. We gotta close. All right.
Oh,
Yeah, we gotta
no.
close.
I just want to give a shout out to everyone who was touched by these shootings. Just to stay positive, keep your heart light, and take care of yourself. Um, Listen to your body, listen to your heart, listen to your mind. Reach out if you feel the struggles of everything getting to you. Get with your emotional support system. Have people in place that you can talk to, because a lot of these things can really weigh on us, even though we may not be directly impacted. They still, if you're a person like I am, that still can touch your heart and put you in a, kind of a rough and dark place. So please reach out to who you need to reach out to, touch who you need to touch, stay in prayer, keep your heart light, take care of your hearts, take care of yourselves. And we're just going to keep, I hate saying this, but we're going to keep our prayers and our thoughts with everybody, because I feel like there's just not enough, like it's just not enough for the immense pain that everyone is going through. So I'm just going to be mindful and take my kindness out into the world and try to be a light in this dark place. That's what I can do. And I just urge others, if you can, just make a difference in your small way. I'm sure all of our lights together can make a big bright one. I'm praying. So,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Shonda. I want to say thank you to Lady Chee and Ushanda, and thank you for the energy that you have given, and for us to be able to express our feelings to everybody. And just hope that you get something out of it. And as I say down here at the bottom, our prayers are constantly with you for all the victims and the families, and not even just the victims, but everybody in the school, anybody that's related to the school, everyone. And so we just want to say we're going to keep it moving. We're going to keep giving positive energy, and we're going to make a difference. And I'm just hoping that we can make a difference in your world, just today. If we can make a difference, that's all that matters. So thank you so much. And I want to bless everybody, and I want everybody to have a great weekend. And what I always say is stay safe, stay sanitized, and stay smart. Okay. We got these monkeypox that we got to sit here and look at. The good thing about that is doesn't have it's not like it's not contagious like the COVID. So we're good at that. But I just had to throw that in there. But anyway, everybody have a great afternoon. Thank you for watching the Max Mobile Celebrity Podcast. We will see you next week with another celebrity guest. And everybody have a great weekend, and we'll see you then. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.